An announcement confirms supplies, teams, and positions for the Special Joint Team, a significant gathering with the renowned Flying Tiger sect participating, known for completing raids without casualties. Raiders aspire to join, but selection is distinct. SEO Kang-Rim, a tertiary insectile class, surprises as a member. Abilities were decided 5 days before the awakening, but SEO's destiny seems irrelevant. A newbie approaches Kang-Rim, excited about fighting for the Flying Tiger sect, but hesitates upon learning Kang-Rim's identity. Participants avoid SEO Kang-Rim due to allegations ranging from teammate killings to power theft. Kang-Rim's presence in Annihilation often results in teammate injuries due to his unlucky destiny, termed a symbol of death. Rumors stem from his power to detect and steal Core's abilities. Destiny classes include Divine, Draconic, Ghostly, Humanly, and Insectile, with Kang-Rim bearing the lowest, Tertiary Insectile. He hesitates when Herring, a Tertiary Divine grade, asks why he's present. Herring and Jang Tae-hun, a Secondary Divine grade, invite him to dinner, which Kang-Rim declines despite Herring's sacrifice of a school trip. They offer support against bullies, but Kang-Rim remains reluctant. Before persuasion, Kang Do-hyun summons them, cautioning Kang-Rim to be careful in the Annihilation. Seo Kang-Rim dreams of fighting alongside Kang Do-hyun one day. Duties are announced just before Annihilation, and participants prepare. Kang-Rim handles lower-class demons, while high-class monsters swarm in. Leading groups engage, leaving lower-class monsters for rear groups. Kang-Rim battles, but struggles with the overwhelming demonic energy. A demon strikes him from behind, and he calls for help. Sect Mistress Shin Suha rushes to aid the rear groups. The demon boss arrives earlier than expected as flame-type hunters confront an elephant monster. Amidst chaos, a woman swiftly defeats the boss, surprising the raid teams. She seeks Kang-Rim but gets no response, deciding to find him herself. Seo Kang-Rim is puzzled by the woman's search for him, but is intrigued when he discerns her primary divine-grade destiny, with powers of time regression. Despite Shin Sua's advice against it, Kang-Rim decides to confront her. Baek Young insists on seeing Kang-Rim, even threatening to go through everyone to find him. Kang-Rim realizes the seriousness and overrides Shin Sua's protection to meet her. Meanwhile, Shin Suha defends her sect members as chaos ensues. Baek Young demands Kang-Rim's presence, offering to spare others if he comes forward, but Shin Suha prioritizes protecting all sect members. A fierce duel erupts between Baek Young and Shin Suha, their swords clashing with lethal intensity, each strike echoing through the chaos. Baek Young shattered Shin Suha's defenses, leaving everyone vulnerable. She relentlessly attacked, overpowering them with her skill. Seo Kang-Rim, realizing his hesitation cost lives, confronts her, but it's too late. His friends lie dead. Baek Young approaches, identifying him. Shin Suha sacrifices herself in a final attempt to save Kang-Rim. Baek Young, puzzled by Shin Suha's loyalty, presses on. Kang-Rim, devastated by the loss, resolves to steal the powers of the fallen to fight back against Baek Young's overwhelming might. Seo Kang-Rim, overwhelmed by guilt and grief, realizes the weight of the allegations against him. Blaming himself for the tragedy, he decides to fight back. Absorbing the destinies of the fallen, Kang-Rim's magic rank temporarily rises with each absorbed power. Knowing he has no other option, he prepares to confront Baek Young, who seeks his death. As she approaches with her sword raised, Kang-Rim's counterattack catches her off guard. Seo Kang-Rim, driven by revenge, activates his Master of Sword ability and launches into a relentless assault against Baek Young. Despite his automatic activation of various abilities like Golden Buddha and Hawkeye, he struggles against her superior strength and his own lack of mastery over the stolen powers. Summoning icicles as a defense, Kang-Rim finds himself overwhelmed as Baek Young's ice spells break through his defenses, shattering his sword. Injured and realizing his limitations, Kang-Rim braces himself for a desperate move, knowing he can't keep up the fight much longer. Utilizing Shin Suha's tree leaf method, Seo Kang-Rim forces Baek Young into a defensive stance, buying himself precious time. Baek Young, initially underestimating him, realizes Gangrim's proficiency in spellcraft. However, she knows his tactics won't hold her off for long. As she focuses on breaking through the tree web, Kang-Rim seizes the opportunity to launch a surprise attack from behind, severing her neck. With satisfaction, he watches her collapse, reveling in his revenge. Despite the rush of victory, Kang-Rim chooses to cancel his auto-activated regenerating power, knowing it won't undo the catastrophe his ill-fated destiny has wrought. His misfortune life and miserable destiny were already deliberated since his childhood. Just like the prophecy, he lost his parents at an early age and he kept involving in other accidents. But regardless of his destiny, his friends still accepted him, but they died because of him. Wishing to rewind the time, he is suddenly struck by Baek Young's regression ability. He does not care even if it regresses to moments before Baek Young's catastrophe. Activating the ability, Seo Kang-Rim suddenly finds himself seated in a comfortable office. Shin-Soo enters with her boyfriend for a horoscope reading. "I am back," Kang-Rim affirms. Taking Shin-Soo for the horoscope, her boyfriend is overwhelmed on their first date, while Shin-Soo appears uncomfortable. Seo Kang-Rim's successful regression is evident from Shin-Soo's unmasked appearance and unharmed eye. Determined not to let past events repeat, Kang-Rim assures them and asks for their details. He explains the horoscope, likening the man to solid gold and Shin-Soo to solid wood, indicating a mismatch in compatibility. Furious at the reading, the man demands Shin-Soo leave, but she insists on knowing her fortune. Despite his insults, she remains unfazed. Kang-Rim agrees with Shin-Soo's belief that such places focus on positive events. As she requests her fortune, the consequences of regression strike her. Shin-Soo urges them to take cover as she remembers her past life of protecting Kang-Rim. Determined to change their fate, Kang-Rim decides to part ways with Shin-Soo, leaving her questioning destiny. However, she follows him, and as they encounter chaos in the gallery, Kang-Rim rushes to protect others, his sword gleaming in the darkness. "Get to safety!" Kang-Rim's voice cuts through the chaos, commanding attention as he swiftly dispatches the creatures with deadly precision. The creatures writhe in agony as his blade cuts through their tough skin, leaving them lifeless in his wake. Rushing to Shin-Soo's side, he finds her happily dealing with a less threatening monster using fire bottles. Despite the irony of a dragon killer being delighted by insectile-ranked worms, he clears the stairs and guides them to safety, collecting spirit parts along the way. Shin-Soo insists he evacuates with her, showing concern for his safety despite their recent acquaintance. Impressed by her caring nature, Kang-Rim decides to confide in Shin-Soo. "What is it?" Shin-Soo asks, visibly shocked as she witnesses her destiny window, confirming Seo Kang-Rim's description. Recalling the earlier announcement about the awakening and superpowers, she can't help but question its implications. Kang-Rim reassures her that as long as they avoid death, they should be safe. Navigating through the dark building with the light from their phones, Shin-Soo continues to inquire about destiny and Kang-Rim's own fate, to which he remains evasive. Despite his regression, Kang-Rim's destiny window remains unchanged, though he has relinquished the stolen powers acquired during the annihilation, carrying only the karma of the 421 corpses he absorbed. Aware of the dangers of accumulating more karma, he hesitates to use his destiny-stealing ability further. Suddenly, they hear a man's voice being chased by a monster, prompting Shin-Soo to rush to the rescue. Kang-Rim swiftly dispatches the monster with his knife, but is unable to save the man in time. Shin-Soo wonders if anyone is still alive inside the building. Seo Kang-Rim uses his power to find out, confirming the person is deceased. Reflecting on the potential survival abilities of an awakened individual, Kang-Rim realizes he needs more powers like that. They chase after a noise from a monster and encounter Doke Gojun, a primary divine grade, effortlessly dispatching the monster. Expecting them to join him in fighting the boss, Doke Gojun greets them. Kang-Rim reminisces about the past as he introduces himself. Doke Gojun is intrigued by Shin-Soo, whom he sees as a potential ally in the game-like activity. Their conversation is interrupted by a man being chased by a giant insectal-grade monster. Excited by the prospect of facing the boss, Kang-Rim charges forward with a fire spell, but Doc Gojun asks if he can defeat the boss, to which Kang-Rim replies negatively. Despite the danger, Kang-Rim engages the monster to buy time for the others to escape. Doc Gojun tries to pull Shin-Suwa away, but she insists on saving Kang-Rim. The monster turns towards Shin-Suwa's voice, prompting Seo Kang-Rim to redirect it with a fire spell, allowing Shin-Suwa and Doc Gojun to escape. They applaud Kang-Rim's sacrifice as he continues to fight until the Fate Protection Agency arrives, but the monster has other plans. Despite sustaining damage from Kang-Rim's fire spell, the monster presses on. Trapped in a corner, Kang-Rim is running out of options until a well-directed strike to the monster's face forces it to retreat momentarily. Shin-Suwa returns to rescue Kang-Rim as he battles against the overwhelming swarm of worms.